Yo, what it do? Lifers, let the newbies know they are not in the wrong place. They are, of course, with us in the Life Be Lifing podcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We back. You know what I'm saying? We had some familial obligations to take care of last week. I did, however, if you follow me, I made a guest appearance on GFT Radio discussing Daredevil episodes 1 through 3, Daredevil Born Again, to be specific, since there's two series. And some people do pause, that's weird. Some people are doing, retroactive stuff, so not to get you confused. But if you want to hear my opinion, Sonny, who from Sex with Sonny, also from Podlink Philly, and also from GFT Radio, and Willie Styles from GFT Radio. If you want to hear us talk about Daredevil Born Again, the first 3 episodes, that episode is out on YouTube. Check out G is in grown, F is in folk, T is in talk radio. All right, follow them, show them some love, tell them Coach sent you. But we, the Like Be Lifing podcast, are back in full effect, and we are hosted by none other than the lovely, the awesome, the witty, the wise, the electric and eclectic, squishy gangsta, Mimi, the goddess.
What it do?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And she is flanked by none other than your favorite fat freckled man, your favorite coach's favorite coach, the big dog himself. Who? Glad to be back with y'all this week, man. Glad to be back with y'all this week. So, y'all know, let's make some small talk while we make sure that all the lifers have a chance to get in the chat. And I know I normally make me start it off. However, I'm going to start it off by first and foremost, for those who may not know, please, when you get into the chat, show love and throw happy birthday wishes on my amazing co-host Mimi
Oh,
the goddess. That's
thank
right. Her
you.
birthday was the 13th.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm old now. Getting up there.
And yeah, yeah. And also feel free to show love to a consistent supporter, a lifer, and our mutual friend, the lovely Miss Tommy. That's Tommy with two eyes.
Yes.
Don't get it
That's my
messed up.
that's
You
my
heard me?
birthday twin. What
That's
it
right. They
do,
are birthday
twin? Yes,
twins.
that's my
They
dog.
are indeed birthday twins.
Yeah, I
So, you know what
feel
I'm
bad
saying?
because she under the weather. We were supposed to go to dinner
Yeah.
together. We had to cancel our little steakhouse date, but it's all right, boo. Still dinner on you.
You know what I mean? Shout out to her. I'm pretty sure she'll probably be taking a nap and had to catch this episode on the flip side.
Hey, listen,
So,
I've been napping all week, so I get it.
yeah, man. Did she tell you she had pneumonia?
Yes, we've been
Yeah,
talking.
man. So y'all know I was dealing with that last year and how that
Man,
had
it's
me
rough.
all the way under heel. So, you know, I'm just glad she's able to maintain and
And,
take all the time you need. Take all the
yeah,
time you need, friend.
yeah. I was telling her, I was like, I don't want to have to kick the doctor's ass. She said,
Okay?
treating her like typical, how doctors treat black women like they junkies or some shit.
Which
Like,
is
nigga, do you think
crazy.
I want to keep taking medication? Do you think I want, like what Myron say? Do you think I want to keep taking
Do we be in the
prednisone?
pregnant
Nigga,
zone?
I ain't trying to be in a
Ain't
prednisone. I'm
nobody
trying
trying
to
to
be
stay in
out
the
of the
pregnant
zone.
zone.
Shit. And do
Ain't
you think I
nobody
want to
trying
be
to
in here
stay in the
taking this shit
pregnant
every
zone.
2 to 3 months? No. But nigga, y'all ain't trying to help me get better, so I gotta do what I gotta do.
Facts. All them different inhalers and breathing
Man,
treatments and all that, man,
that shit crazy.
for the
It's funny
birds.
because ever since like I started doing the allergy shots and like really taking my health and diet more seriously, finding like natural alternatives. Like I done been going getting tea blends made. I wish I had some wood to knock on. I did right here. I ain't been sick. I'm trying to stay that way.
Good.
I'm dry off the Afrin. I haven't snorted Afrin in like 2 weeks. It seemed like so. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm kind of hoping I don't end up sick. So you know how that go when you travel. So I'm about to pump myself
Yeah.
full of vitamin C and all of the good,
Good call.
nutrients and whatnot. And
Okay.
Try to stay out of the way of that, little bug. So, but look, I haven't really heard much about anything running around like just getting people sick per se. So we gonna see.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any
Oh my
particular
god.
bug at this moment, but you just never
Never
know.
know. You never know. So try to stay out of
Yeah,
the way of all of that.
real talk, real talk. I'm trying to stay away any of that as well. Um, all right, cool. We finally got the again Facebook, Facebookers. I don't know why this joint locks my live every week, and I have to go unlock it every week. But the live is now unlocked. It is public, open for public consumption. So if you are watching us on Facebook, then yes, we are available to be seen now.
Like
um,
yes.
I'll never understand that whole issue. You know what I mean? That's all right. Y'all not gonna hold me back forever. Um, and for the YouTubers, the live is up as well. So by all means, pull up a chair. Join us for the night. Join us for the night. All right, so quick week wrap up for me. Um, it's been a decent week. If anything, I'm recovering from the busy weekend that I just had.
Yeah.
My lovely wife just graduated with her master's from LaSalle University from
Hey,
with her
hey,
master's in
hey.
education. She was the top of a class in her particular discipline. Um, so she got to, get saluted for that, got a call out for that.
Nice.
I just found out today from her that she graduated with a 4.0.
Oh wow.
So, what I mean? Very proud of her. Family and friends came out to love on her and, shower her with affection and praise and well wishes and stuff like that, gifts and stuff. So, she had a good night. Uh, Listen, I ain't gonna tell too much business about my baby, but she's a early bed type person, okay? She likes to get to bed early. She a homebody. So the fact that she wanted to go out Saturday night lets you know she was feeling the vibes. And she definitely enjoyed herself. I was out there having a lot of fun. And of course, me being the person I am, that was great for me to see. I loved it. I really enjoyed seeing her be in that moment. Like there's certain moments in life I feel like, hey Ty, thank you. Welcome to the chat. Um, I just think that there's certain moments where like it should be about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
plain,
Especially
plain
like
and
something like that.
simple. You
That's
know,
definitely like a you
people try
moment.
to make it seem like it gotta be about everybody. No, it's about you in that moment. Just you. You know what I mean? You go ahead, be a little brat for a little bit. You know what I'm
Not a
saying?
little brat.
Everything focused on you. You think the world revolve around you. Today it does. Today it does.
I don't know.
Today it
I
does.
like
When we
okay.
come to celebrate you, that's how we gonna get down. And I don't mean literally be a brat. Like, don't be nasty to people and
I was
stuff
about to
like that.
say because like wait till I
Because
tell you
that's
about my
never called
weekend.
for.
I tell you
That's
about
never
my
called
weekend.
for.
Oh my
Get
god.
into it. Go into it. Listen, get right into it.
So y'all remember when we was having this conversation about like who started the prom send off stuff, like the chick from up there in y'all area?
Yes, yes.
So
Saw it. Yes.
yes, so I basically, Marley, my goddaughter,
Hmm.
her prom was on Friday,
Okay.
and I don't know. Maybe because I didn't do the most for my prom because back then it just wasn't like you just didn't do those things, right? We talked about this,
We
but
did.
um, so I made the took the firm stance like I'm only doing but so much, right?
Okay.
Um, and not to put her business out there, just like her and her mom are estranged for the most part, right? Um,
Mm.
and
Unfortunately.
yeah, it is, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and it's gonna sound crazy. A lot of it is her fault. And sometimes parents do have to put boundaries in place with their children, especially when it involves their mental
Hey.
health, which is what we'll get into, at some point later in the show. But um, parents, parents be their mental health be checked like kids really be trying to try their parents mentally sometimes, and unfortunately, her mom was like, I'm checking out. I can't do this with her. And I hate to say
Okay.
this, but I'm kind of starting to understand why. And I'm kind of starting to understand why her dad
Mm.
doesn't try to parent her, because she's one of those kids that she know better than you. She know everything. You can't tell her nothing. Like, her feelings are the only feelings that matter. What she wants is what
Oh
she
Lord.
want. Like, and it's funny because again, I'll talk more about it later. But long story short, I had her dress was $1,500, and I'm like, you the same kid that said you want a car, but you're putting pretty much most people pay $1,500 for their first car. Like, you got probably would be half of a down payment on a nice car on your body
Mm.
there for one night. So I wasn't really feeling that, but she worked, she make her own money, she could spend it how she want, right?
True. True.
And it's like, so you kind of bit this other girl's style. You didn't even try to change the dress in
Oh,
any way, shape, or form. So now and
come
then
on.
she wasn't the only girl to bit the girl dress, right? So it's like you and two other
I see a
girls.
lot of that too.
Yeah, it's like you and two other girls, right?
Hey
And
Kim.
hey, Kim. So the girl basically called them out and was like, yeah, y'all know who did it first and who wore it best. So now you in the whole
Ooh.
internet back and forth. And I'm like, but she tagged the other girl and posted her picture. And I was like, well, if she didn't bring you in it, why you jump in it? And I was like,
Right.
see, this is why I call you Messy Marty. And then it was like, you wanted to be, you didn't want to get dressed at home. Okay, I understand that y'all live in an apartment, not enough space. You ain't want to drag your dress through the elevator and all. That's cool. So I rented a
Of
hotel
course.
room. I got her a hotel room. All right.
Nice.
She picked a photographer because it was the same photographer that took the girls' pictures whose dress she bit. And I was like,
Come on.
I'm dead ass serious, bro. And I'm like, so I'm still at the point where I'm not saying nothing. You getting your
Okay.
weave done, you getting a bust down. I was like, Marley, I don't know what that is. You got to speak English when you're talking to me. So she explained what that
About to
is.
say over my head too.
I mean, I've heard people refer to it, but I don't know what
I've
that
heard of
means.
it too, but I'm not gonna
Like
lie, like
like
I know what it
when
means.
when it comes to a wig or weave, or like, what does a bust down mean? Like, because I'm thinking plain Jane Rolio bust down. That's like you
That's
Jordan, you doing it up.
right.
So I'm like, is
Right.
it like a turned up weave or something? I don't know. What am I missing? Um, and just like the makeup thing, it's like you had to go to a certain hairstylist, you had to go to a certain makeup artist, and then all for her to tell me that they require her to attend school for 50% of the day. I said, hold
Damn.
on, wait a minute, what?
They making them go to
Oh,
school?
Taya said that's wild. The middle part. Oh, okay. Because she tried. She ended up telling
Thank
me
you,
it
Ty,
was a
for
middle
putting me
part,
on
right?
game.
Because I was like, oh, okay. Is that what that means? Why you don't just say a long curly weave with a middle part? Like, but okay, whatever, right? So clearly, I don't get wigs or weaves, right? I barely get braids.
That's wild, is right.
That's very wild. So I'm just kind of like, all right, boom. I said, listen, because now I'm on task to do the hard part. I don't care what nobody say. The runaround is the hard part. So
Yes, it
run you
is.
around for jewelry, run you around for this, run you to your appointments, run you to get that, run you to get this. So mind you, I'm back working on my sister. I gotta run all the way out Jessup, and anybody from this area know from DC to Jessup, that's a hike, right? Pick you up while I'm on a work call, and then I got to get on another business call, and I'm running you to Target and doing this and doing that. And my I ate all day, ain't ate all day. Get home, and then I gotta listen to you go on and on about this. And the next day is your hair, and then the day after that is, and then I gotta get you registered for driving school in between all of that. Then the Friday is your appointment. Then you going back and forth with your little friend on the phone about having her Uber to my house so she can run around with you all day. And I'm like, girl, you don't know how to do none of this on your own. Like, you gotta
Right.
have her with you. But then say the little girl don't do nothing for her. And I was like, Marley, she not showing up for me. Yes, she is. Because if somebody's spending all day with you for your prom, that's showing up for you.
It's
Like,
definitely
are,
right.
are you tripping or nah?
Yeah.
So we get to heading to school because now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop you off, and me and Maddie gonna go drop your stuff off at the hotel. And I'm like, so yeah, she not showing up for you, but this girl gotta sit in a hotel till you done with school. So I'm looking at the time, and she was like, I gotta be to I if I have to I have to be to my last period by 1:58 to at least be marked present. I said, Marley, look at the GPS. I said, you think we're making it to your school in time? I said, you need to call these people and tell them you're not coming to school. Now, mind you, I told somebody that was on the prom committee that I talked to, a administrator at school. I said, listen,
Okay.
y'all should have told the parents this. Y'all did not. I said, now I'm her godmother. I'm not on paperwork to have any say about this. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm running her around. I'm responsible for these appointments. They already paid for
Right.
them. I'm if I can't get her there, she not coming. So y'all better figure something out. So I told her to call her dad
What's
and tell
up?
her dad. She does not involve her dad until the day of. I said, call your father and let him know I'm not taking you to school. We're going straight to this hotel. I'm checking you in and I'm leaving you there. I said, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If I gotta take you to school and then go to that hotel, I'm not coming back. So what you want me to do? So she freaking out. She called administrators, and administrators was like, Marley, why did you even say anything? We had you covered. And I was like,
Oh
this
wow.
this is because you don't communicate with people because your communication is trash. Like I told you yesterday in the car on the way to dinner. So we get there, I check her in, and of course, she want to act like I got an attitude, but I'm like, nah, bro, you inconsiderate, like you being a brat. So I was like, now I got to go all the way home, get dressed, get Turo, and drive all the way back out to Baltimore. And anybody didn't know anything about DC to Baltimore, that's a longer hike than Jessup in rush hour traffic on a Friday while it's raining. So her photographer cancels on her at the last minute. Ha ha, that's what you get for dick riding. But she pivoted and she found another photographer. Pictures, the dude was doing all he could, he was really good. She took pictures in front of the car, she got pictures with her family, and she was off the prom. Fast forward to the good part. This girl complaining because nobody wanted to come out and party. Marley, it's 12 o'clock. You had no plan for prom night. And you're acting
Right.
like a brat because one girl was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and hit this date up and let me know when you figure out what you're going to do.
Now,
I spent all weekend going back and forth with her about, yeah, people don't show up for me. They don't do what I do for them. And I'm big on loyalty. I said, Marley, have you communicated any of this to any of these people? No, they should just
right.
know. I said, you know what?
Oh, come on.
I said, bruh, I'm trying to tell you right now, dealing with you is really, really teaching me a lot about myself because what you sitting here saying is some shit that I probably used to say. I said, matter of fact, it's some shit that I probably was saying up until about 2, 3 years ago. Maybe four if I'm gonna give myself a little more credit. But yeah, guess what? Secret expectations don't get you shit but hurt feelings.
Oh man.
So she just kind of was like not trying to hear that, and I ended up telling her, "You're being a brat." And at the end of the day, our relationship about to become very surface level
Oh
because
wow.
you don't want to hear what I'm telling you.
Yeah, Kim,
I can't.
patience for real.
No, and my patience, Kim, has literally it's been stretched thin with her, and I literally told her something that I'm sure hurt her feelings. But I literally said, "This is probably why your parents don't want to parent you, because you're difficult for
Ooh.
no reason." I said, "You don't listen. You think you know better than everybody. You feel like your feelings are the only valid feelings, and you
Hmm.
don't care about nobody else." I said, "And at the end of the day, it's probably not worth it. They're trying to protect their peace." I said, "You think your daddy wants you to go to college because he wants to see you do well? No, your daddy wants you to fuck out of his house. He wants you gone. He doesn't want to be bothered with parenting you. So he's just like, I'm gonna bide my time till you get the hell out of here." So I just was kind of like, you know what? So I'm not saying nothing else. You're good. I'm good. We're good. Um, cool. I don't want you. I won't hear you complain about this little girl no more. I don't.
Right.
I don't want you to come to me with this little drama filled shit you got going on. Like I was like, meanwhile, your little bestie over here texting me, Mimi, so my prom dress is red. What color jewelry should I wear? What color accessories? She talking to me about everything. She like dying for me to be her mentor. Meanwhile, you don't want to hear shit I'm saying because I should just automatically agree with you because you my godchild. No, thank you. I'm not up for that.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm not up for that because you know what? Going to the mental health thing, I wish somebody had the gall or the gumption or the wherewithal or the patience to talk to me about my attitude in my younger years. I probably would be so much further along in my life journey. I probably would have navigated a lot of my pitfalls a lot differently. And it would have been like, I mean, I still got my mentor, but imagine if she had had more time with me. Like the little bit of course correcting she did for me was like very pivotal.
So let
But
me ask you right quick, because you said if somebody had the gumption, well, what you mean by that? They like, what you mean by that? Speak to that.
the same thing like with Marley, like for me to say those things to her knowing that it's gonna hurt, it's gonna sting, it might cause a little contention, it might make her feel away, but it's honest, right? And knowing that that will be received like good, bad, or indifferent, like I hear you, I'm listening, you
Okay,
know. But I feel like people felt like, man, we can't talk to her, she ain't trying to hear nothing and she not listening. She
got you.
talking to her is a lost cause. It's like
Oof,
talking to a brick wall.
that's
All you
terrible.
gonna get is like arguments and excuses. And literally when I tell you, I had to call a whole emergency therapy session on Monday because I was like,
Mm,
no, I'm really at my wits end. And I just don't know if I could keep doing this because
hey, Sonny.
it, she is the only person that still makes me take my voice up an octave, get
Dang.
out of character, cuss a whole lot. Like I don't know. Like nobody turns me up the way she does. And I told my therapist, it's because I feel like I'm looking at my younger self, trying
Yeah,
to make sure she doesn't go through and deal with and handle and process and work through things the way that I did. There was a lot of shit to my detriment. I'll never forget my grandmother saying the way you talk to people and treat people, you ain't gonna have no friends when you get older. I literally sat in the car on the way to dinner for Toro's birthday last Thursday and said, you know what, the way you treat people is like it's some shit. I said, start evaluating your relationships with people right now, and we're gonna talk about this in 10 years and see who's still a part of your life and why they are or they're not.
mm,
And Art was like, nothing you said was wrong, but I think she felt like you was in her business. I was like, yeah, because like you basically was being a brat because you want to talk shit about your dad, making
yeah.
you
Myron, I
start to
knew it.
move, make a
I knew it.
listen, like your dad is trying to tell you, hey, you're 18, you can catch the train like normal kids. I'm not driving you everywhere. You can, she was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on a train. And I was like, well, you pay for Ubers to go to parties with your friends. Pay for Uber everywhere you want to go. No, he should take me. Oh, okay. You keep waiting on that. Like,
He
you,
should.
yeah, he should be taking me. It's not safe. I said, but it's safe when you out here doing whatever you want to do. Any other time, I'm not really understanding. So she wanted to like talk shit about her dad, and the girl kind of redirected the conversation. Cause I'm saying she probably the same little girl that she live up in DC. She probably gotta get on the train, get on the bus, catch a Uber, figure it out for herself. Well,
Right.
she ain't driving either. And so, I had to tell her, I said, Marley, if you hadn't been sitting on your little ass waiting on your dad to go get your social security card, you could have had your license by now because you would have gotten your learners at 16 and you would have had your license by now and you would have been working and you had a car. But no, you sit around waiting on people to do things for you. So, therefore, so like she basically told the little girl, well, I got to get off the phone. She gave her some bogus ass reason. So I checked her on it and I was like, why you lie to Maddie? Because I just don't want to hear what she's talking about. Some. I said, so you
Mm,
basically gonna get off the phone and lie. I said, why would you lie to her? She's your friend. Hey, Maddie, I ain't trying to hear what you're talking about, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get off the phone. And she didn't like that. And I was like, hey, bro, I'm trying to save you from yourself. I said, but you know what? I be telling all my other friends, hey, stop trying to save your kids from themselves. Stop trying to, stop your kids from learning life lessons. Sometimes you gotta let them fall flat on their face. Sometimes you gotta let
definitely
them
do.
get the scars. And guess
Yup.
what? I'm gonna have to start doing the same thing with mine because Shotty
Yeah.
ain't getting it. Like, and people
Gotta
be
let them
like,
smack their face on that concrete once or
what
twice,
what
man.
Michelle Obama say? You gotta hit that brick wall and get that bump on your head. So
Yeah, man.
Shotty about to be
Yeah,
really
man.
lump, be knotted up because I'm just gonna sit back. Right. Kimmy said my mom would have said walk, walk.
Yeah. Word. Word. My mom said the same thing, Ken.
Cause look, I said you get these little boys to come pick you up for less. They can't take you to driving school. You get your little friends to come pick you up for parties. They can't take you to driving school.
Mm,
I said, it's all good. You do what you want when you want. And I noticed that about kids like her, right? Just bratty,
man.
so it's like, Wanaki deserved to be a brat on her day. She earned that.
Right.
But when you don't earn it, nah, I'm not that we not rocking. I'm not just giving you that like that carte blanche. You don't get that. We not
Facts.
doing that.
Facts.
So
Facts.
yeah, so
That
I
yeah,
know
that's why I let with there are days and moments. Like
hmm
your birthday, yeah, we should be doing this. If we're coming to celebrate your
even
birthday
that.
should be all about you. I
Even
get
that.
it.
But
I get it.
it was like I told Vamika, that's my sister for those who don't know. I was like, yeah, it used to be I expect people to know what I want on my birthday. I expect people to know what I want to do. I
Yeah,
expect people to
that's
and I was
goofy.
like, nah, bro. Like, and then I said I got to the point where I started telling people what I wanted
Yeah.
and what I wanted to do. Now, when you don't deliver, then I have a right. You asked me what I wanted to do. You
Right.
obviously went out of your way to not do what I wanted to do. So don't be mad at me when I'm mad at you because you asked and you didn't do. So now
Right.
people be mad when I be like, no, I'm good. I got my own plans. Oh well, damn. Yeah, y'all won't disappoint me. Fool me once, shame on you.
Right.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
Like, nah,
Right.
I done learned my lesson. So, Kim, you're right. It does start with the parents, and I don't know if you missed the first line out of my mouth. Her parents don't want to parent her no more. Her and her mom are estranged, and her dad is just like very nonchalant. I mean, Marley does whatever she
Mm-mm.
wants. Like she does whatever she wants, and she's been doing that the 2 years she's been living there, just doing whatever the fuck she wants. Like she'll call me or text me at 11:39, and she out riding around with somebody aunt who Ubering or Instacarting or whatever, and I'm like
That's insane.
spending the night over boys' houses.
Yikes.
I was like, see, I'm not with that shit. And that's why I told her, I said, this is why you couldn't come live with me. Because
Yeah,
y'all
she
mom
be
Mimi is different from mommy Mimi. And you're not gonna like me. And I said, what you getting right now is mommy shit. Because I'm doing the job of your mom right now.
mm,
I'm showing up in place of your mom. And I had a conversation with her mom. I said, I never thought I'd have to I said, I know you made me her godmother for a reason, but I never thought that I would have to do your job while you were still
while
on
you're
earth.
still here. Yeah,
I said, it's
yeah.
the hardest thing
That's
for me.
real.
I said,
That's
and you
real.
sit here, she sit here and she brings you up, and I have to act like I can't, don't, and won't talk about you because we still cool. And there's things that I know in your life that are transpiring that she should know, but I can't inform her of because she doesn't deserve that because the way she removed herself from your household and
Mm-mm-mm.
the way you were like, yeah, go on, get because this some bullshit. You jeopardizing what I got going on over here. You know what I'm saying? Like I told her, I said, and then you were mad at me for a whole year for not talking to you when y'all were trying to railroad your mother falsely. I couldn't
Mm.
stand for that. And I was like, so yeah, I removed myself. I said you needed time to adjust to your new surroundings. I couldn't be your out. So that shit just been
That's a lot.
that's
That's a
why
hell of a
I
lot.
literally was like, let me see if Weena got a free appointment. And I was off pretty much all this week. And she had an appointment on Monday. And then not read. This how bad it
True.
was. Weena said, it seems like we needed 2 hours today. She's never said that to me, even on some of the worst session days where I'd have been going off. She's never been like, sounds like we needed 2 hours today. You're right, Myron. It takes a village, but you know what? The village get tired sometimes.
And not just the village get tired. The fact is, there is such a thing as exhausting the help that you get. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're running away from the help, I don't care how big the village is. You isolated yourself. You're putting
Yeah,
yourself in that predicament. And like you said, like
yeah.
sometimes the village gotta agree to let you crash.
All right.
Let you go ahead and smack your face on that cement right quick. I
Yeah,
mean, the village ain't going nowhere. They still around
yeah,
for the most part. But then, yeah, sometimes they don't be around because you done burnt the bridges so bad you can't make your way back. So, I
yeah.
definitely hope and pray that don't never end up being the case for. her.
I
But
don't know.
yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead and take her from, get her from up under the wing a little bit. Just be like, all right,
Listen.
you want to fly so
Go
bad.
fly. Go
Go
fly.
ahead. Go ahead. Oh. Yep, that's the ground. Yeah, there it is. You broke your beak, huh?
Yeah, uh-huh. And I feel bad that I'm gonna stand back and watch. And Terrell keeps
Got
saying,
to.
I know this gonna be the hardest thing for you to do.
It is.
I know it's
It's
gonna be the
hard as
hardest
hell.
thing for you to do. And I was like, it's gonna be
Hard.
very hard. I was like, it's
Hard.
gonna
You
be
gonna cry.
so difficult. Oh,
You gonna cry.
already. I
You
was
gonna
like,
cry.
damn, this gonna be rough. I told Wayne, I said, this gonna be rough, but I gotta do it. She was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. She was like, it's something else there. Well, let me think about this and we'll come back to it. I was like, you think about it all you want. I'm standing firm on this one, Wayne. I was like, I told you what it is. It's like looking my younger self in the face,
Yeah.
knowing that if I
Yeah.
had a me, I saw this reel, right? And it was like, be proud of yourself because you grew up to be
To
the
be the person
person
that you never
to
had.
protect the younger you. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, that's real because that's what I call myself doing, right? Yeah, but
It takes a jungle.
it was a whole motherfucking jungle, child. Like, and it's crazy out there, survival of the fittest. But and it's like she jealous of the little girl because she's like calling me for everything. She want to talk to me. She telling me all her little business, and I'm like, Marley,
Cause
you the
she
only
taking
person.
advantage of
I said,
what you
you the
taking for
only
granted.
person that's missing the point. Like, I'm seasoned. I'm a vet. Like, prime time, baby. Like, I done been to it and through it. And she already know. Like, I said in the car, I was telling her, I
Mm-hmm.
said, in this lifetime, you need a mentor, a coach, and a therapist. You need all three. And she was like, well, oh, wow, explain. And I told her, like, the difference and why you need each of those. And she was like,
Okay.
man, Mimi, I'm gonna get your number because when I go off to school, I know I'm gonna need to be calling you. Call me. Call me. Like, call me. I
It's
told your
it's
number.
often like that, man. It's
Yeah.
often like that where kids get mad because they see somebody taking full advantage of what they take for granted because you have it there the whole time. So now it's like it's not that big a deal. That person always coming in to either save you or support you or to woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you see somebody else who's soaking up all the game that you go ahead and you just like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I hear you,
Yeah.
but I don't hear you.
Yeah.
And you see somebody else, they want to sit at the front of the class. You sitting there cutting class, not coming to all the classes. They up there taking notes, and you like,
Yeah. 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 I mean, she want to do a lot of surface level shit. Like I told her, you like to live an Instagram lifestyle. That ain't me. Like she took me out on
see,
Sunday,
mhm,
which I thought was very sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like for Mother's Day. She knows I'm heavy into fragrances, so she took me and bought me a new fragrance. But I'm just like,
okay.
girl, I just rather you just listen. That would have been the greatest gift of all. Mimi,
Less
I hear
stress would have been a
you.
good gift.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to my friend and let her know. Like, in order for us to be friends, this is what I require in a friendship. Like, be mature, get your emotional quotient together. Like, because
Ooh,
she don't got it.
emotional
Like,
quotient.
she really don't got it, yo.
Lord,
And I know we talked about that before,
that's a
but
bar.
she's emotionally immature. Like to the point where hold up, let me tell you this. I've been checking on her every day. Like I ain't gonna treat her no different. I'm just gonna stop talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been checking on how to drive a car, yada yada. So I told her. She said, "Have a good day this morning," and I was like, "Have a good day as well, baby girl." She was like, "Sorry, I haven't really been in the best mood. I've been emotional lately." Okay, like normally I would have been like, "Oh, what you emotional about?" I don't care. I don't care what you're emotional about. I don't. Because if you emotional about the fact that the little girl ain't come hang out with you for a party and she went on a date, da girl, I don't want to hear that shit. We got bigger problems in the world. They
There you
being
go.
emotional about something a lot more motherfucking important. Like I don't know. And honestly, she needs therapy. She needs to be back in therapy. But I don't know why her dad hasn't put her back in therapy.
Mm,
She needs therapy. And I'm like, I'm not a therapist, I'm a realist. And I might not be the best person to keep talking to her about a lot of these real
that's
life
real.
situations.
That's real.
So she might not be able to handle what I'm coming to her with. So I don't know, man. It's just been rough, like for me, and it has really made me be like, Waiter, get me on the books. Get me on the books now. Like, I got the extra 170. Put me on the books. And literally, like, uh, we went over time on Monday talking
Mm,
about this shit. I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. I got too many other kids in my life that give to me instead of taking from me. And that's like,
mm.
I can't keep letting you take from me because that's all you know how to do.
That's all you know how to do. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. Um, that was a good way into the segue. Um, I don't know if you guys can see the shirt. My shirt says "Mental Health Matters" on the back of
Hey.
it. I'm not finna stripping if Facebook try to flag me, but on the back of it, it says "Self-care is not selfish." Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I ain't expecting to see these titties on Life Be Life. Um, uh, but But yeah, on the back it says self-care is not selfish. I saw the shirt, and of course, Ty, you was the first person I thought of, with the whole self-care is bae thing. You know how you put me on to what bae even meant. All right, like whole time I didn't know that at all. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna have a quick, we want to have a mental health check-in. That's also an idea I stole from my man Hype. Shout out to him. That's Hype, not hype. He's not geeked up. Um, but yeah, I've seen him do a couple of episodes where he had mental health check-ins with different guests and stuff like that. So we're taking this as an opportunity to, kind of do this with each other as well as with y'all. Like if there's anything in the chat that y'all kind of, yep, episode 46, yes indeed, Ty. Um, if anything that y'all wanted to mention in the chat about yourselves that y'all wanted to discuss or anything like that, um, absolutely feel free. If you feel like at some point later on, maybe not tonight, but if you feel like you ever want to come on and discuss some things with us, get it off your chest. We are not therapists by any means. We are not mental health professionals.
Not at all.
We just are here to support each other as a community. And sometimes just saying it out loud helps. Sometimes just finding out that you're not alone about this feeling. You're not the only one
Mhm.
going through whatever that is, helps. So we offer, the emotional support from that standpoint and the listening ears from that standpoint. Now, granted, we are probably at the end of that conversation, depending on how it goes, going to refer you to a therapist, a therapy firm, a couple of scriptures if necessary, maybe some physical activities that might help you in the meantime. Because
Mhm.
again, we are by no means gurus or professionals in that kind of space. We just want the best for everybody we rock it with. That's all.
Yeah.
Um, now that Mimi done, got into hers, I guess I'll get into mine. Like I said, I had the really high of being able to celebrate my wife's achievement as far as, academic excellence. She's a teacher as well, so it's really, really like a good look for our
Right.
sons to see her be an educator and take education so serious that she stuck through the program on days she didn't want to go, on nights she had to come home late. Like you
Yeah.
worked all day, you worked at an after school program, and then you had class. You know what I'm saying? So seeing her go through that and to see her not just, oh, well, she made it, but to see her graduate, top of the education sector in her program and to have a 4.0, like that's a really big deal.
Yeah, that is a
So
big
the kids
deal.
don't have no excuse as to why they can't get it done because they benefit from a similar support system. In fact, I like to say our kids have a better support system than she and I do,
Mhm.
um, because they're kids. People were willing to go out their way for kids, and I remind them of that. Like you could really just hit up our auntie, or uncle, or a cousin. You know what I'm saying? And they'll jump through the roof for you that
Yeah.
they might not do for us because we adults and we got to handle our
Right.
business. Plus, you also have us, of course. Um, So like I said, I went from I had that really high from uh dealing with, and you would think things get easier over time, but as we said in the episode, I want to say either 4 or 5 in good grief, you just never know when it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
Um my older sister, Marv, what up, bro? Glad to see you in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Marv. Um, I feel like I told you about Marv before, Mish.
You
Um,
did.
yeah, that's me and our homie from school.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of Nick's godfathers.
Oh.
So yeah, um, her birthday was actually Monday. So with it being so close to
Oh.
Mother's Day, yeah,
She's
being so close to
Scorpio.
Mother's Day, she is indeed. Um, she passed in April,
Yeah.
during April, and then her birthday in May being so close, it kind of stirs up these emotions with me. On top of that, while trying to get things together for the celebration of life for my younger cousin at the end of this month, uh, we were doing a brick dedication ceremony for him, but also my older cousin, Aiden's father, wanted to do a brick dedication for the 2 players that I mentioned I lost back when we was on doing Two Kings 2-on-5,
Mm-hmm.
Hiram and Lump.
Yeah.
So I had to reach out to their families, you know what I'm saying, because I wanted to confirm, the dates. I know their birthdays, but the day we lost them, I, don't always have it fresh at the
Right.
top of my mind. Because I try to hold on more to birthdays than the day we lose people.
I'm the same way.
Because you don't want to celebrate that. You don't want to sit there get stuck in that mourning that every single day of the year it comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just focus on the birthday because that's what I would have been celebrating if they were still here. That's what would have
Right.
mattered. And that's what matters more is the fact that we got to have them.
Right.
Um, but I was stuck in a qualm because I'm like, how do I contact the parents about confirming the date? Like, I haven't talked to either H or Lump Mom in a while. And it's like, hey, this is Coach. Yeah, how is everything going? Yeah, what day did his son die again?
Yeah, that's gonna
Like,
be a lot.
you can't do it. You can't do that. So I got in my detective bag and searched through social media to put things together to find,
Mm.
the sunset date and stuff like that. And what I was able to do was just, to hit the moms up and be like, hey, we're doing so forth and so on, and we want to honor your son. Um, but on the brick, we're gonna put, the birthday, the sunrise and the sunset. So I just wanted to confirm with you that it was this date, so forth and
Mm.
so on. Correct? Boom, that makes it that much easier. You know what I mean? So to go back to a tough subject. Um, so yeah, like but also while doing that detective work, it took me down the bad part of memory lane. You always talk about going down
Yeah.
memory lane, but it took me down the bad part of memory lane because I'm seeing all the, oh man, I can't believe this one hurts. We miss you, bro, and seeing how many years it's been
Yeah.
since we didn't have them, and it just kind of like it put me in a funky mood. It put me in a funky place. So
I can
um
understand that.
trying to find that balance, like Mother's Day celebrating. Um, my mom. I went over to her house and barbecued for her Sunday. Um, and she's my harshest critic. So if I cook food and she love it, you can't tell me nothing. Gordon Ramsay can't tell me nothing if my mom said my food hit.
Yeah.
So just trying to stay present, trying to stay in that moment, you know, not faking it till I make it, but legitimately, you know, locking in on the present, locking in on the fact that,
Yeah.
still blessed, still got a lot positive going on. Um, And yeah, that in itself took a while. Um, so one of the problems I'm having is because I stopped going to therapy for a while, I'm having problems getting the therapist I want back.
Yeah. See, that's why I refuse to let mine go. Like I will schedule appointments and then just make sure if I don't need them or I'm indisposed, I'll cancel them. But I try to stay on her books, like especially
Yeah.
since I don't have to pay nothing up front. You pay once you're
Okay.
done. So I
Right.
try to stay on her books because she's very popular and very high demand. And I tell her all the time, "You're my professional best friend. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you."
I hear
She
that.
be she
I
be
hear that.
laughing, but I be so serious. So.
I hear that.
So yeah, that's
So
unfortunate. I
yeah,
hope you
so
find a
that
good
was the
one.
yeah. No, listen, trying to get her back like an ex-boyfriend. You heard me? About to send flowers. Send somebody to go put the boom
Outside with a
box out.
boombox. I need you back.
Please, doctor, please.
Please, help me, please.
God, they'll make me have to get online and be like Dwayne Wayne.
Unblock
I'll
me.
be your patient if you have me, please.
Unblock me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, hopefully I don't have to get a new one because that's a lot of, trying to build that rapport all over again. And,
yeah.
you know, I, having a therapist that's not good sucks, man.
I mean, it
It
really does. And
sucks
I'm
because you
so
don't know
blessed.
immediately all the time. You don't realize it immediately all the time. So imagine you put
Yeah.
4, 6 weeks in
Listen,
with this
yep,
person, and now it's like, man, I've been talking to you for nothing.
right. And I'm so blessed
And it
because
be draining. It be draining.
we started out with her for marriage counseling. Like,
Right. I remember.
so, and it ended up being like, so can I come see you by myself? Because I got my own shit to work out. Um, but yeah, it's I'm reading Kimmy's
Yeah, yeah,
so
Kim, I do remember seeing your post about that. And of
it
course, our most sincere condolences.
yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, we got to put out the work to try to find a good therapist. Like I said, I always recommend because two firms I know people got good therapists from, and I did as
Yeah.
well, is BetterHelp and ThriveWorks. Specifically because we're looking for therapists that look like us.
Yeah.
Um,
Has anybody ever used Megan's platform? Megan Thee Stallion. I'm going to be specific. Her
okay,
platform
talk
for like
about it.
mental health, like to
I don't know
find mental
nobody to
health.
ask, but talk about it.
I mean, I've heard her say that she was launching it. Um, I forget. Hold up. Now I gotta look it up because I don't want to incorrectly quote it, but it's like, is it bad bitches have bad days too? Let me look it up. I could be wrong, but I know she, had her whole little stint with her struggling with the whole Tory thing and being tormented online and whatnot. So hold up. I feel like okay, look, it come right on up. I wasn't wrong. Bad bitches have bad days too. That's funny. That is literally the name of the website. So I wonder if anybody has ever used this platform. It
I
says
haven't
therapy
heard a
platform
single
Center for
person.
Interactive Mental Health Solutions. I Prevail, National Alliance on Mental Health. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I
And
mean,
also, I will say, whereas there are free therapy services across the board, this is again not no shade or no funny business when me saying this.
oh, this is crazy.
Specifically for women, there are a lot more
Yeah,
where
but
y'all could get
no,
free mental health assistance. I'm not saying they don't have them for men. They do. They do. So I encourage men to look. But
her website, Therapy for Black Men. It's a specific link to a directory. Therapy
yeah,
for
okay.
Black Girls, LGBTQ psychotherapy of color
Okay. So
directory,
that's a link
Black
to
emotional
other
Black
thorough,
Emotional and
thorough,
Mental Health
thorough,
Collective. Like,
thorough.
okay, so like oh wow, Black Mental Health, Black Mental Wellness, Dear Black Women Project, Black Mental Health
Right.
Alliance, Melanin and Mental Health. Yeah, we
So
might
that's what
gotta
I'm
start
saying.
kind of pushing the suicide
That's
crisis
what I'm
line,
saying. It's
trans
it's it's
lifeline.
places,
Oh
it's
wow.
places out there that can get you the help for free until you can, because some people have financial issues. Some people have their insurance is shitty. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not really helping out on that angle of it. Um, and let me say this to y'all. Let me say this to y'all as somebody who's benefited from uh mental from psychiatric and therapy and whatnot. I know you would like to do it every week or every so often as soon as you start,
Unnecessary.
but if you can get one session a month, if you could get just one session a month, you'll be surprised to
I'm
see
trying to tell
how
you.
much it helps.
Big difference.
Oh, Coley jumped in the chat. Appreciate you, Coley.
Hmm.
I'll put that up on the screen too.
Yes, definitely. And she even spotlights some podcasts that have to deal with a lot
Appreciate
of
you,
mental
Coley.
health stuff.
For those
Yeah.
who don't know, Nicole Jackson is also a college friend of mine and Wanake's, and she is who Nicholas is named after
Oh.
because she's the reason why Wanakee and I met when we did. She basically
Mm.
introduced us to each other. Um,
Shout out to you, Nicole.
so shout out to you, Coley. Myron. I do free sessions, but it's really at your own risk. Whether you do free or pay, it's always at your own risk, bro.
Always,
Like that,
always.
doing free at your own risk is free, but paying is still at your own risk. Because, like I said, I paid and had a therapist that didn't work out. So it's like everything in life that's important is trial and error. You know what I'm saying? There's no automatic slam dunk out the gate person for everybody because there's people who's great for some people and there's some people who are not going to be great for you.
Hmm.
But you just got to be diligent. You just got to really actually want to. That's the other thing. You got to come into this wanting to do the work, knowing it's going to be difficult, and being willing to challenge yourself and look
Yeah.
at yourself. You know what I'm saying? Once that happens, it's easier to pick out who works for you and who doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
of course, yeah, definitely take referrals. If you got somebody who's willing to go ahead and put a name to their therapist and
Listen.
you see in their life that they move like a therapized person, go ahead and take the oop.
Yeah. I'm willing to share my
And
personal.
conversely, please don't take the oop from people who say they take therapy but behave very untherapized. Because if anything, I've realized recently, there's a lot of people bullshitting the therapy game.
I mean,
A lot of people see their therapists every week and they are not progressing
I'm
anywhere in life
I'm gonna be
as far
honest.
as like, man,
That's that's your bro, and I told him, I
I
said,
didn't have to
please,
do that.
no, because let's keep it real. When you dealing with someone that goes to therapy and you want the best for them, but you
Yeah,
see that they're spending money every week and they're really not taking full advantage of the resource that sits in front of them every week, you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest with them. It's a waste of your time, their time, and your money.
yeah, it is.
Because then when you have the moments where you feel like
Day at a time.
you haven't progressed, you have no one to blame but yourself because you are not really. Listen, I'm going to say this. Going to therapy is one of the hardest things you're ever going to do. It's never going to be easy because that means you have to face a lot of your bullshit. You have to stand in the mirror and say, this is what's wrong with me. I'm the problem. I have issues and I need to fix this. And if you can't do that, therapy is not going to work for you.
That's a fact.
It's just not. So, as much as I could just be like, but no, I've witnessed it firsthand. in dealing with my own significant other. And that's not to throw him under the bus because I've told him openly, hey, bro, you really need to start taking your therapy more
Mimi,
seriously.
beep, beep.
You can say whatever you want. I've told him. It's not like I'm telling y'all and I haven't talked to him about it.
Of
I've
course,
told
of
him.
course.
I was like, bruh, like it's not beneficial for you. And we'll have conversations. So what did you talk about in therapy today? Da, 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 da. And I was like, so you didn't mention X, Y, and Z that just happened? Oh no.
So, question, because let's get to that. Let's get to that because this is about to segue into the next portion of our discussion. Let's get to that,
See,
right?
I'm giving you good segue points. Don't down me.
Let's get to that, right? Like in the case of somebody like that, because we got to discuss. If we're going to have this discussion, it would be good to discuss the whole gamut, right? There are those
Always,
of us who's going to
always.
go ahead and step into it and do the work and stuff like that. But for those folks who really, like we saying, kind of wasting their time in therapy, what do just from your opinion? Because again, we're not professionals. I have to keep saying that y'all not finna try to pin us as
Yeah,
fake ass
no,
gurus. Y'all
no,
not
no.
finna do that to us.
We're speaking from our own experiences, and I love to give honest, true experiences.
Opinions.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what this is.
the
So
opinion based.
in your opinion, based on life experience, what do you think a person like that could do outside of therapy? Because there has to be something, right? Because let's be honest, even therapy
Oh, that's a
is
good
not going to be the best first step for certain people. You know what I mean? Like going to see a therapist is not always the best first step for people. People have to find different ways to heal. Like therapy is, again, I'm a high advocate for it, but there's other steps to, help work on yourself to help heal. What's something else? Because sitting in front of that therapist and wasting your time and their time and your money, what else
I
do
don't
you think
know because how much is to go to
to get
therapy?
on? That's hilarious, Kim. That's hilarious.
You know what? Okay, and again, I have to speak from experience.
You know what? You're right. I ain't gonna say no names, but now I just thought about a couple of coworkers who did that
Yeah,
um to stay out of work for like months and to end up working from home.
it's kind of hard because, like, again, using that is the example. It's like I've seen him go to therapy where it's him and I.
Right.
Seen him go to therapy with her separately. I've
Hmm.
seen her tell him, "Hey, look, I can't therapize you. Get somebody else to do it." So you know it's bad, right? When your therapist gets rid of you, she recommends him to a black male, thinking that's the answer. You, you sit there and you have very surface level conversation with this person. Um, you get around men who are experiencing the same thing in life that you are, whether it be marriage, work, money, whatever, friends, and they're all talking and spilling their guts, and you sitting there like, yeah, true, damn, right, okay. So it's kind of hard for a person like that, but typically for the normal person, literally it's getting them linked with someone that has been through what they are going through, or a social group of men that are willing to sit and be honest and transparent with one another. Activities
Okay.
that kind of get them the release to let their guard down and feel more comfortable talking about things. A mentor. Sometimes, like when I tell you, I stood
A
outside of
mentor
the
is great to
church
have.
2 weeks ago and like was talking to my mentor for 2 hours to where I ended up in tears, like telling her, thank you for still being a part of my life at almost 44. Like this woman been a part of my life for 30 years. Who the fuck still has their mentor from high school as a part of their life and like a really driving force in your life for 30 years? That's a person who wants, to do the work and be better. You want to
Right.
aspire to be like that. So it's like getting yourself around people that you want to see yourself in the same position that they're in. You aspire to be at the level in life, whether it's, work and professional wise, or mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. You have to surround yourself with the individuals you see yourself want to align with. And a lot of times we don't do that. We have friends we know we don't really align with anymore, but we just can't let them go. We know they're not good for us. We know they're not helping us, you
Or the
know,
problem is we are aligned with them.
that too. Now, Rita, that's a really good point. And that sometimes that
And we
does go
shouldn't
because
be.
I was gonna say that's why
Our duties
sometimes
and
that does.
responsibilities in life really say we can't afford
Yeah,
to be, but we
yeah.
way more aligned with them than we need to be.
It's the hardest thing to do to like, you know, manage that access to those people because you don't want to believe they're part of the problem. But you do have to start like
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, I wish Tommy was on here, right? Because the minute that we had her on the podcast and then you, her, and I was shooting the shit afterwards, and you was getting on me about, feeling like I be throwing bro under the bus. And I'm like, no, I don't give me nothing to say. Everything I'm saying is the truth. I ain't gonna about to lie. And she was like, Nari, I feel her, because if that's what's going on, and the trauma bonds, very true, Taya. I stopped doing that shit. And so I instantly told Weena, like, so I think I met my younger twin, right? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, first of all, we had the same birthday. I said, second of all, we think alike. Third of all, she's as cool as shit. So she was like, Denisha, maybe this is time for you to pivot away from the people that don't help your mental health and get with people that you are more in line with. To literally on Monday, she was like, so what about the young lady you were telling me about? I said, oh, we hang out all the time. We be going to dinner. We be going on set tours. She done gone off for my birthday with me. We be doing all kind of shit together. She was like, good.
Mm.
Because I was literally telling her how I had a friend do some weird ass shit to me a couple weeks ago when I was hanging out with her and her husband. It's like we go somewhere and she buys tickets for a movie, and she buys two tickets on this end of the row and two tickets on this end of the row. And she was like, oh, you and Larry can sit together. I want to sit with my son. What? Why are you sitting me with your husband? Why don't you and me sit together and your son and him sit together? And so he looking at me and I'm looking at him and he looking at me and I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. But
Damn.
then had the nerve to be mad at us because we was having a good old time. Like we not cool ass friends, right? So I
I
just
mean,
kind of
shoot, your status together. So,
he said he literally told her, well, shit, you sent me with her like we on a date. So hey, I bought her a drink. She was like, y'all niggas got drinks and shit. And I just like it fucked with me, Nari. It fucked with me mentally because I was like, girl, like,
that's
first of all, you
crazy.
should know on with your husband. Second of all, why are you coming to me like this? Third of all, you set me next to him. Fourth, you know we cooler than the other side of the pillow. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, me and him talk more than you. So it was just like, and then she said some really wild shit that she was like, well, my aunt died, right? Triggered. I was like, and Myron, don't you say nothing about that word. Because it did trigger me, but it triggered me in a way of, okay, now I have to address you. I said, listen, you don't check in on me. You don't text me. You don't call me just to say, hey sis, how you doing? You good? You need anything? Everything all right? You hit me when
Mm-hmm.
you want something. You hit me when you need me to do something for you
Mm.
or with you that nobody else would do with you. Or I'm a buffer for some shit for you. I said, and if you think that I'm on social media scrolling all day, I can tell you that I'm not. So if you thought that I was just supposed to see it on social media, forget about it. I didn't. I was like, I'm not doing this with people anymore. Like, if you want me to know what's going on in your life, the same way I check in on you, nigga, you check in on me, okay? And I think it took her aback and she was caught off guard because normally, what I just said to you the other night, people think I'm cool with everything.
Right.
And I'm absolutely not. And I'm letting motherfuckers know. For my mental health and my sanity, I'm letting y'all niggas know when I'm not cool with shit. Sorry.
Myra said, want to work on yourself, find out your life path number and the
Yes.
weaknesses associated with it. I don't even know what that is.
So
Y'all
he
got it.
he posted about it and he was like, "Oh, you a
Yeah,
born
I don't
leader."
read all Myra posts. I don't
Oh,
even read
that
all Myra
that one was
posts.
a good one.
I don't read Myra posts.
So, and Myron, I didn't mean she triggered me in a negative way. It triggered me to finally speak up and say something. Like I used to let a lot of shit slide because I'm like, I don't want no beef with this girl. Because when I told my therapist about what happened, because she used to therapize her and her husband. So she knows her very well. So she was like, no, why would she do that? And I was like, I don't know. So she was like, are you going to address her about it? And I was like, I don't think so because I don't think she's going to be able to handle the conversation.
Mm,
So it's like, yeah, I don't want to be aligned with nobody that I can't have an honest conversation with.
that's real.
I don't.
That's real.
Just
That's
don't.
real.
So it's like going back to what I was saying, we have to start aligning ourselves with people that are like minded, that understand where we are in life and where we're trying to go and
Yeah.
how we're working to get there. People that live different from us also, because sometimes we think that our way of
Absolutely.
life is so just and right and true that we don't realize that sometimes no, a lot of shit we do and think and say and feel is to our detriment. And we fucking ourselves over at the end of the day. So
Sure
a
did.
person like that, if they're open and honest enough to transition into that type of situation or scenario could, you know, help themselves more. But
I ain't
oh, you
trash your
don't have to
post, bro.
trash your post. He just said he
I
don't
ain't
read
trash it,
all
bro. I
your
just don't
posts.
read all of them. You know, I be commenting and liking on some of them, but
And
I don't
it's
read all
it's
your shit,
wild
bro.
that I
I ain't
even
gonna
saw
lie to
that
you.
one because I'm not even on
Mm.
Facebook often enough. So for me to even catch that one was
I don't
wild.
read
You know what
all.
I'm
I don't
saying?
read all nobody posts. You hear me?
Right. I definitely don't read all. I know people that wish me happy birthday. They mad because I gave them the hearts. Like, cause I don't have time.
But yeah, no, you right. No, I feel you on that. So I'm offer up a suggestion as well, uh, because I knew a couple of people, and at one point I was like this myself too. Like therapy wasn't finna happen. I was completely closed-minded to it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to hear it. You're not going to tell me how to fix my life. You don't know my life to tell me how to fix it. All those kind of things that people have that makes them reluctant to therapy. Even seeing other people who, I knew was in therapy. Hey, yo, that's crazy, Kev. Maybe she was she if she never mind, I was about to say if she wanted a threesome, she wouldn't have got defended. But you know what? That'd be crazy because it do be people out here asking for threesomes and then get mad when somebody's like, okay. But that's a like to be like for after dark conversation. I think we really gonna do those at some point, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that might be fun. Um, but as I was saying, like when you're really closed off to it, or uh, it's not helping because you're not willing to be honest. I say you got to connect with something, right? You have to connect with something that requires some kind of purity from you, some kind of pure concentration, whatever it is. Maybe, for some it's religion or spirituality. Uh, not your job, not your job, not your job, not your job, not your kids, not none of those responsibilities. Something outside of all of that that you could connect to and put your all into, to where in putting your all into it, right? You start finding things about yourself to make the progress work. Whether it's building something with your hands, maybe you're a person who's gonna, rebuild a motor, or maybe you're gonna knit, crochet. Um, you know, maybe you start getting Lego stuff. Maybe you garden. For me, it was basketball. Basketball was one of the things because even comics wasn't doing it for me at this point. Uh I was so discontent and I was so out of touch with who I am, who I needed to be. Not even who I was, but like who the person who I really was, like really am deep inside. And the person who I was supposed to be. I was so far from that based on some of my daddy issues and based on, me looking at life from the lens of, like being too minded with the whole, life ain't fair, acting like, everybody else in life eat but me. It's time for me to start eating. You know what I'm saying? I pause if necessary. Um, but my mind wasn't in the right place. So basketball was one of the things that led me back because once I started playing more and once I started going through the process, first of all, if y'all know me, y'all know I love basketball. But just going through the processes of, getting up to go get shots up. Um, particularly working on a particular move or two. Making sure that I'm playing a certain amount of times per week. Watching games and breaking it down mentally. Um, Even thinking about things that happen after the game I just finished playing, or having conversations with people on the court after I just finished playing. Like even those kind of human connections that seem surface, that start out really surface, because you don't know these people, they don't know you, and it kind of starts to develop because while you're waiting to play, like either you done play 3 games or 4 games, and it's kind of that lull in between, or you lost and you got to wait to come on. You start talking to people, you start hearing their stories. Like nobody's giving up all the tape, but sometimes just a little bit, hearing what somebody's dealing with at that time and realizing that it's similar to what you're going through, making those human connections. Like, is the dude I didn't know from a can of paint, but now we done exchange numbers, or now we realize we ride the same bus every day. It's just that he be in the back of the bus. I sit on this part of the bus. We not paying each other no mind. We get off at different stops. Now we realize this whole time we've been catching the same bus. So now when you get on the bus, you look for him. He get on the bus, he look for you. Y'all that, you know what I'm saying? Starting to build those things about yourself, because one of the things that we don't want to admit is that we be having self-esteem problems. You know what I'm saying? Even arrogant people be having self-esteem problems because you're not loving on your true self. You're loving on this image of yourself that you want everybody else to believe exists. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you're putting so much energy into the hype that you want other people to believe in. So even in being arrogant, even in being self-centered, even in being conceited, you're not really loving yourself. You know what I mean? So I think that's something else, is that finding something that you could put your all into where you can't fake it. Because if you decide you're going to rebuild this engine, you can't fake your way through that, yo. It's going to take you time. You have to know, you have to learn about what you're doing, and it'll show you about yourself. Like I thought I was good with my hands. I guess I'm not that good with my hands. I thought I was a fast learner. No, 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 it's gonna take me a minute. I thought I was patient. Man, I'm pissed off every time I come back to this thing. That's why it's taking me 12 weeks to do something that should have took 4. And once you start to see those things happen, like, oh man, I thought I was way more athletic than what I really am. Or I thought I was better at point guard than at small forward. I keep getting stripped. I keep losing the ball. These are things that you see in with your own eyes and you can't deny. You can't wrap your mind around, because you're going through the process and you're putting yourself into whatever this activity is, even working out, right? Even if it's just working out, going to the gym regularly, all right, man, I can lift more plates than this. It's not even fun to me to just lift these plates and start at this much so I can say, yeah, well, at least I went. You'll start to see about yourself where you cutting corners at and where you could do more at. You'll have that day where it's like, all right, this is my max, but today I want a new max.
Mm,
I could do another minute on this treadmill. So once you start to break down the BS that you sold yourself about yourself, it puts you in position to now really go ahead and take advantage of therapy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So there's different ways to sow the seeds sometimes, because yeah, sometimes therapy, you just wasting your bread. Like you're not ready for it. You're not.
yeah,
You're not at the place where it's gonna benefit you, because you're not gonna do what it takes to make it benefit you. So there's something else you have to do to break yourself down. Like I said, there's different things, but it has to be something that takes more than just surface participation.
yeah. It's funny, because I know I made mention of the fact that I'm back working with my sister, right? And
Hmm.
so even though my sister is like physical fitness, nutrition and wellness.
Right.
She has put together like a program, and it's not just for women, but of course, most women take advantage of it. Where, and it's like, this is another thing where Myron's, checking your emotions and your feelings has come into play. But she like curated this journal for me for 28 days with a lot of prompts. So she's like, what's the one thing you want to focus on with getting back, to your health and fitness journey? I was like, consistency. Because we know I can do the work. We know I can eat properly. We know I can lose the weight. I mean,
Consistency is a big deal.
and that's a big deal for me, right? I got the discipline and all of that shit, but it's the consistency for me that I always seem to lose my way and fall off track. Because I mean, shit, 28 days, I've lost almost 20 pounds working with her. But she curated this entire journal for me with a bunch of like prompts and affirmations and questions to ask myself each day. And it's almost like she was life coaching me. And I would have to do audios every day. I recommend to anyone if you just do like a dump is what she called it at the end of the day of like what's on your mind, how you're feeling, and then like go back and revisit that within a week or 2 weeks, and you kind of see where you were versus where you are, some of the things that are causing you issues or strife, you can kind of manage that a lot better. And my sister was saying like she feels like I've been a lot more transparent, a lot more open, less guarded. And she was like in 28 days, the difference that you've been trying to tell me you've made with therapy, she was like, I've got to see that firsthand. She was like, I literally feel like our relationship is going to be forever different because you've been telling me I'm not the same person. I'm different. And she was like, I got to see that because this was a program that you did for you. It wasn't, are you doing this because I asked you to? Because it was like, it's called a human billboard. She wanted me to be a human billboard. So I was like, had to go through the motions for her post and promote and all of that. And in turn, I got coaching and training. So like she just keeps like, and she said this morning, I keep gloating on you. I keep, saying how proud I am of you. And I don't want you to think I'm just saying it because I'm your sister. She was like, I'm saying it because I see a change. She was like, therapy and a lot of other things are working for you. She's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And it's like I would do these like audio dumps every night and we talk about it the next morning and she'd be like, yeah, so in your audio I heard this and I heard you say that and like, it seems like you're feeling this way. And we would talk about it and it was like damn near having free therapy. So I mean, I'll have to drop her info, in the group for everybody. You can hit her up. But yeah, like she specifically, like I said, curated my 28-day journal to the point where I'm gonna commit to 3 more months because shit, 20 pounds down and less my stress. I recommend that for anybody if you don't want to take on therapy immediately. Like finding someone who's a like-minded individual that literally is set to do those kind of things would be like super super helpful. Myron, I'm trying to tell you, and it's funny because that her asking me to do that wasn't the first time I've done it. I started doing it in 2022 or 21, I think. And I kept consistent with it for about a good 2 years. And then I think when my friend had her incident, like I kind of fell off from doing it because she had her incident like early January. Um, and I like kind of started like tending to her because it was almost like a life threatening situation with her. So I just kind of was like, damn, I fell off. Like, why? And I went back and listened to some of those audios. Boy, I was a different person back then. So it's like you get to see how far you're progressing, how far you've come from where you were. And for those who can't write, and I don't mean like can't write in a literal sense, it's like I'm one of those people when I have to put thoughts on paper, it takes me a while to process things. I I'll have a lot of things running through my mind, but I can't necessarily always get them out. But I can talk clearly. I could talk. So I would just record myself, and then it got to the point where I was like, I need to gather my thoughts and be able to get my point across in 5 minutes. So now my audios literally are 5 minute audios, no more, no less. And I say everything I gotta say in that 5 minutes and keep it moving. And then I'll go back and revisit it like every couple of weeks and be like, damn, I was struggling with having to write a birthday post to my uncle. Now I'm like, damn, I'm trying to plan his celebration of life, and it's a different feeling. Or, yeah, I wasn't managing my emotions and my feelings pretty, too well. Thanks, Myron. Now I'm sitting up here thinking about every little thing before I get mad, happy, sad, or glad about it. So, yeah, for those who need somewhere to start, do audio dump. Just sit there and in privacy and talk to yourself. If you can't journal, um, to do that. Like, and all mine are
Yeah,
locked. Nobody can access them but me unless I give you access to them. With a journal, somebody come across your journal and read that shit. Your audio notes in your phone. You put them journals in the cloud and lock them up if you want. So I recommend that to people because I think that's something that's definitely been beneficial for me. Um, Write a letter to
I agree.
yourself. Like I wrote a letter to myself, my future self, and the last prompt in my journal for the 28 days it said in 90 days, write a letter to yourself. I said, shit, all I gotta do is read the letter that I wrote to myself, see where I am today, write that letter, and in 90 days, I'm gonna re up that
There you
letter.
go, nigga thinking he right all the time.
Make a
See,
decision as you should.
you can't give him no life, man.
And I tell you
This
what,
nigga.
I ain't gonna cap. I'm gonna go ahead and give Myron his shine because
We already gave it to him, man. That's enough.
no, but I'm
That's
just
enough, man.
saying, listen,
That's enough. Cause now he
even,
gonna start that whole bullshit
no,
like, oh, I'm right.
because
Start
even
off with me being right and we good.
no,
Like, no, I'm not
no,
doing this shit with
I'm not
him,
gonna
man.
say that, but I will say having the conversation. Not saying
Of
everything
course.
Myron said was right, not saying everything I agree with, right?
Because it
Because
wasn't.
sometimes it's contradicting itself. But the conversation alone, like
Very
literally,
important.
it definitely did wonders for my mental health and my mental awareness and my emotional awareness to the point where I'm sitting there talking to somebody today, and I was like, normally I'd be ready to cuss this person out for this bullshit, but I'm just going to listen and hear what they got to say, and I'm going to respond accordingly. I'm not going to get in my feelings about this. I'm going to come from an emotional, emotionally intelligent place. And it was same with Marley. Like I went from screaming on her last week to saying, Marley, I love you dearly. I'm tired of having the same conversations with you. It is not good for me, and it's not good for you. And so at this point, we're gonna have a very surface level relationship until you can handle adult conversation. And I've just literally been responding to people like that. Even when me and my sister was almost kind of about to get into it, I was like, Vanika, you cut me off. I wasn't done talking. Normally be like, see, there you go, cut me off. Let me fucking talk. And I was like, why you cut me off? I didn't cut you off when you were talking. It's just so wow. I think people think I'm being condescending. I think people think that I'm
People
fucking with
do.
them. I
People
think
do.
people think that I'm
People do.
joking on them because they're
They
used to
do.
me being
They
like,
do.
nigga, what? What the fuck are you talking to?
They do.
And now I'm just like, let me know you're done.
They do.
You good?
I'm telling you from personal experience. When you don't just react and you think through your processes and respond, people don't like it. People don't like it. They
Yeah.
they especially if it's not the way you were previously behaving before. If you were just reacting before and now you're choosing how you're gonna respond. Yeah, people don't like it. They
Yep.
don't. They
Because
think you're being
they can't
dismissive.
turn you up. They can't turn you up, and it makes them mad because they now can't control you with your feelings. They can't control you with your emotions. They can't. It's wild to watch. I think I get a kick out of people being like, "Oh, so you're not
Yeah,
about
you
to cuss
probably
me
do.
out? Oh, you're
You
not about
probably do
to
get a
yell
kick
and
out of that.
scream? So you're not mad? This ain't fun. I like when you's cussing and fussing because I know I can still get under your skin. No, not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'd be like, okay. Yeah, they used to you giving them that control. And now people be like, oh damn, guess those days are over. So Yeah,
You
but
know, I don't get to get a kick out of it. People just, think I'm being evil or jerk or an asshole because,
yeah.
that's how men be. Men don't never care about nothing.
But
Oh
you know
shit.
what? That's a really good point. Maybe it's just that men don't get in their feelings,
Men definitely get in their feelings. um,
or whether they just
oh,
don't
hold
show
on.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a book called Mama in Your Own Words after losing my brothers. She let me look at her answers and I flipped through the page and it asked the questions about death of loved ones. And of course, she mentioned my brothers. I think the book would be beneficial. God forbid if something were to happen to her, but it has a lot of different questions and pages for the response. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kim. We
Yes.
appreciate that. Um,
Right. Right. No, Myra, that's real.
Women
I've
get mad
definitely.
because they have to confront the idea. I don't even know if they're even intelligent enough or aware enough to confront that idea. To be honest with you, I think in most cases they're not even conscious enough to realize that that's what's going on. I
Yeah.
don't even think, yeah, I don't even give those kind of people that kind of credit. Um, like I said, I know with me, like I said, I get labeled as, I'll get labeled as not caring. Like I don't even get the benefit of being labeled nonchalant. It'll be dismissive and uncaring.
Yeah. People be like, you being condescending and dismissive. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, that's the other one, condescending.
I'm not
That's
being
the other
any
one,
of those things.
condescending.
I'm being regulated. Like that's the newest term I be wearing the fuck out. I'm regulated. You're not about to deregulate me. I'm not about to be unregulated. Fuck that. You're not gonna stress me out.
I just
Like
don't see the
I
purpose.
don't
I
want no more
just don't
gray
see the
hair.
purpose.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna
Like,
be looking like a silver fox in a minute. No,
yeah,
mm-mm. No.
like I just don't see the purpose in going there with you. Like I don't. There's no benefit. I'm
Yeah.
not. I hate losing more than I love winning, and having zero sum total arguments with people. I'm not into that. I'm not into that because I lose. I lose. Once you done did all that to me, and I done got all the way up here, and it didn't go nowhere, I lose.
Yeah.
So like you said, with men, it's not so much that well, yeah, we only allowed to show but so much emotion. Like we said back in Two Kings 215. So either I get to be, this freely angry person, or I get to be a really excited person, or if somebody die, I get to be sad for a little bit.
Yeah.
So being as though in most cases we're not allowed to even express our entire gamut of emotions, it's like, well, if you go and get mad, then you might as well crash out. And I'm not, you know me, I ain't for that.
Yeah, I ain't doing
I ain't
that.
for that. I ain't for that. So I rather not get mad. I'd rather not get mad at all. I'd rather just let you, eh, meet me a regulator night late, dog.
Listen,
Mount up.
regulators.
Let's close this out uh with a brief discussion on where we see mental health today in today's society, right? I am one of the people who have been taking in a lot of content from a therapist by the name of, well, by the IG name of Raquel, the capacity expert. If you
Hmm.
have not looked at her stuff, but you think mental health is important, by all means, I promise you, she brings up a lot of good points. Of course, people are not going to agree with them all, but look into it because she makes a lot of great points. And stuff that's relatable once you actually really think about it. Because we are at a point in society where the where mental health awareness is probably at an all-time high, where it's easy to have open discussions, where it's not a taboo subject anymore. Um, Words like the RET word ain't thrown around no more like that. Um, if you have an emotional breakdown, you're not just labeled as crazy and psycho.
Yeah.
Um, Conversations about postpartum depression and um,
It's being normalized.
PTSD.
Those things are being
It is
normalized.
normalized. It is normalized. Um, but the question is it too far? Are we too far gone? Is it really a good thing that it's normalized? Because one of the things that we're seeing is that now everybody's using mental health as a bailout card.
Yeah.
People's like that big bitch, Ben Simmons used it at one point.
Y'all,
Um,
y'all will get that man no let up, but I get it.
Never, never. I will always remind anybody with ears.
Anybody with ears.
And if your ears don't work, you gonna feel me through Braille. Um, I was right about him from the jump. I've been
You
knew he was
are.
pussy. Um, I've been knew he played because he was good. He didn't play because he wanted to be great. And that he didn't have no heart. That basketball was just a hustle for him. I've
Yeah.
been knew it since LSU. But yeah, people like him use mental health as a scapegoat. People, Kanye has tried to use it. People have tried to use it on his behalf. Um,
Kanye.
uh, all the Caucasian murderers, it get to work for them. Um, we're
Because
too
he's
soft
so
on the crazies
Caucasian.
today. But that's kind of where I'm going to have that question. Like, is it that we've gone too far? Like we went from stigmatizing mental health and everything around it to
So
the have the
weaponizing it.
destigmatizing of it hurt us? Is it hurting us
Yeah.
as a society? What you think, Mish?
Almost to where it's almost to where it's like weaponized now. Like you got people worrying about how
Mm,
people
perfect
narcissists
word. Perfect word.
and what's the other terms they be calling
Narcissist, gaslighting,
lighter,
trauma
yeah,
bonds.
yeah. I mean, a lot of those things are very valid, right? Like there are narcissistic
Those
people out
things
here.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like now that people have learned these terms, they're overly used and it's over saturated to where the people that really are experiencing these things, they're looked at as goofy because it's like, oh, you on that bullshit. But I do feel like people are, like I said, weaponizing therapy, to the detriment of themselves sometimes and even
Mm.
other folks.
Break that down. Break that down. When you say it to the detriment of yourself, weaponizing
Be-
therapy to the detriment of yourself. Break that down.
because a lot of times people say, all right, so if I say repeatedly, I'm in therapy, I go to therapy, I'm better because of therapy, therapy this, therapy that.
Okay.
And I just talked about said person and go to therapy and they're really not doing the work. Like
Okay.
a lot of people are going just to be able to say they're going because it's like a new trend. It's a fad. It's the end thing
Yeah.
to do. I mean, well, I just no, and I'm not trying to knock on Megan because I'm looking at the platform and her platform is pretty cool. I actually wish people would give it a second look and take it a little more seriously because she has some really good resources there. But people don't
You
take it
definitely
seriously
got some, bro.
because the name of your website is Bad Bitches Have Bad Days Too. So people, it's a joke to them. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a joke. So it's like we take shit.
Also,
We're
why would men
so
look there? Because you said it had
exactly.
stuff for men. Why would men
There
look
you
there?
go. There you go. So it's like we so unserious about a lot of shit, right? And it's like sometimes people like to hear themselves talk. So they like to say they doing some shit because it sounds like it's the thing to do. It just sounds good coming out your mouth. I mean, for me, when I started therapy, I didn't really tell a lot of people because it was like I was in therapy for marriage counseling. And that's never a good sign for people, right?
Right.
But for me, it was like, nah, like my husband's father got shot. He was not dealing with that well, and that was affecting our marriage. It wasn't like we were having problems because we just were having a bad marriage. He was not processing that
With
properly, and
trauma. Yeah.
yeah, it was like a trauma that we both had to deal with. Like I'm sitting there going to the hospital with you every single day, knowing that you think your dad is never going to be able to use one side of his body, and then it's like I'm being taken off my square because I'm trying to be supportive of you. So how do we find a happy medium in the middle ground? And it's like, no, so you don't tell people because people gonna look at you like, oh y'all ain't been married that long. Y'all having problems already. So it's like, damn. But now it's like, motherfucker, you tell me you going to therapy. It's like, oh, girl, me too. And my therapist fine as shit. I just go because he look good. What?
That's nasty word.
Okay,
My
like
therapist found this shit is crazy.
I've seen some of the wildest shit. Like said, like
Oh.
I heard people be like, "Oh yeah, my therapist was ugly. I couldn't look at them every week."
I actually heard somebody say that.
That's some
I
real shit.
actually heard somebody
No,
say
my,
that.
my therapist is like they black, but they a nerd. Like they not my type of they're not my type of black person. Were they helping you ass? So it's like we so unserious about shit. Like I always joke and say like Wena's my professional best friend. But that's because like she's so cool and we talk about things that we have in common to where if
Hmm.
she wasn't my therapist, she'd probably be my friend in real life. Like we in
Hmm.
the Jordans and shit like that, travel, like we align on a lot of different things or whatever. And it's just like, oh, you're my professional best friend. But like people really be doing that shit for shits and giggles. It's
Yeah.
like, and then you'll see people go through therapists because they don't like what a motherfucker telling them. Oh, oh, okay. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. What, bitch? That's what you needed.
Hmm.
So they trying to tell you what, like they
You're not
literally
getting
sit
help because
here,
you don't like the way another nigga talk.
like, come on, what are we doing? Like, do you know how many times my therapist has called me out and I'd have been like, okay, Weena, I get it. You're right. And I'm like, but I'm gonna be mad at her because that's what I'm paying you to do. To be
Yeah.
honest with me, to tell
My
me,
therapist, she don't call me out like just flat out call me out. She always
no,
asks a question where it's like you really have to commit to cat. Like
we're beyond that. Like when I
she
tell you
asks, she'll ask me a question. Well, yeah, because y'all have a more personal
two,
relationship.
two, two, 2000, 2013. I've been
Yeah,
seeing this
y'all have
woman
a
since
more personal relationship.
2013. You know what I'm
Nobody
saying?
want to meet up with ugly people every week for every reason. Listen,
Mm.
listen,
If you help me
listen.
be better, I sure do.
I'm about to say,
Cut your
bring
tail
your
off.
ugly ass over here. You helping me heal. You helping me get to some money.
Off.
You helping me get to some money. You helping me improve some of my quality of life. Bring your ugly ass, man. Come on, come on.
Yeah, so people just be wilding. It just be like something to do.
Just
What
turn your camera off.
they just want to be a part of something. And therapy not cheap for you to be wasting your time and your money
Okay,
because you just want to be able to say you in therapy.
that's
I
how I know
mean,
some people got good insurance, man.
because
That's
my
how I know
therapist
some
don't
people
take
got some good ass
insurance.
insurance.
That's why I said I mean I recommend her, but y'all might not want to pay that 170. And this is how you know how to progress from paying her $90 to $170. And not one time with increase have I blinked my eye about going to see this woman. I'm just glad she think I'm therapized enough to need to see her every other month. Although sometimes I'd be like, "You sure about that? You positive? You not pulling my dick, is you? You really don't need to see me every month. I really done got that much better." And it's just crazy, but I couldn't see my life without her. But some people, y'all out here wasting motherfuckers' time. Move out the
That's a
way for
fact.
somebody who's serious.
That's a
Move
fact.
out the way for somebody who's serious. Like I don't mean no harm. I ain't trying to dispel nobody from going to therapy, but please stop going if you don't waste your time.
Straight up.
And if you're paying money,
You're
stop
hurting
wasting your money.
yourself. You're
Yeah,
hurting
because
yourself.
it is to your, like
You're
I said,
hurting
it's to
yourself.
your detriment. And
So
then
I
you
see what you
making it
mean.
bad for other people because
Sure enough, it
you
is.
really like, and my best friend's a therapist. And like, sometimes I'll be having to therapize her. And I'm like, girl, you a therapist. Man, I know you hear the shit you saying out your mouth. And I know you sound crazy.
That's
Yeah,
why
but
therapists have therapists.
exactly. And she's like, I need to find a new therapist because mine has gone on hiatus. And I was like, oh, you scared to go see Weena? Now? Because she already know. She can't talk that crazy shit to Weena because Weena gonna be like, nah, I know you know better. So it's like sometimes people they know better. Wait, how the saying go?
That's real.
If you
If
knew
you
better,
know
you do
better,
better.
you do better.
So it's like
Yep.
people be
Yep.
knowing and they don't want to do better, so they just keep bullshitting themselves because it's just the easier way to be.
Oh God.
Because the doing the work to fix yourself is so difficult. When I
Yeah.
tell you I've had a lot of
Sometimes it
trying
doesn't even
days,
feel rewarding.
not at all. Not at all. And one Monday was one of those days for me. Really, with all of the shit that I have done with my sister the last 28 plus days, because it's been longer than 28 days, but because I started before I went to New Orleans. It's like, yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Cause she get every single dollar. Definitely up your rates. Cause she get
What?
it. But yeah, it's just like, bruh, I was on Monday, I said, I'm better than this, but I don't feel like I'm better than this.
That's
Help
real.
me. Help
That's
me
real.
understand why I feel this way. And that's what going to therapy and really being real with yourself is about. On those days
Yeah,
when you ain't quite there, and you
yeah.
might not ever be quite there. You might be doing good and don't gotta see your therapist for 6 months. Some shit gonna pop up and you're gonna be like, Doc, put me on the schedule ASAP before
Man,
I
what?
flash out. See, they use the
Before
term
something
crash
happened.
out. They use the term crash out. I say flash out because literally that's me going on. Me taking it to 10. That's flashing out for me.
Mhm, uh-huh,
So yeah, I don't know. People need to stop
uh-huh.
doing that. I really want people to get therapy if they need it, if they feel they want it, if they want to explore it. But please don't waste your time and nobody else's. Please don't.
Agreed.
Please
Agreed.
don't be running around here saying you in therapy and you still acting, moving, thinking, and performing the same way you've been all your life. Ain't shit changed.
Ain't shit change.
What a trip stay like you moving through life in a performative way.
Formative. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't do that. Like, stop that. That shit is just bad business.
All right.
Just-
Y'all ready to hear this quick rant that I've said 1,000 times when we talk about therapy? All right. Want to hear it? Here it go.
But here you go.
Therapized people behave. I'm gonna start it differently. Therapized people behave therapized, right? So, because I'm trying to get the channel seen, I'm not be as explicit as I have in the past. But middle finger to all you people in therapy who, as soon as you don't like somebody, their behavior, what they said to you, the fact that they don't kowtow to you, the fact that they are able to handle themselves when it comes to you and you can't get your way with them, or they're just their own person. They are who they are, and you don't like who they are. So your answer is, you need therapy.
Yeah, listen.
Middle finger to y'all, okay? Because the person who actually needs therapy is you. You need to take therapy seriously. You need to stop just going, as me said, to be performative, to be able to lay claim, to feel better than others. You're not doing the work.
Nope.
Anybody, I've said it before. Again, like I said, this is not new. If you've even followed me on social media, you've heard me use this phrase before. I'm so sick and tired of people who want therapy to be a belt. And just like when you see these badass kids, what's the first thing somebody say? They need their ass.
The ass whooped.
Y'all treat therapy the same damn way. He
Yep.
need therapy. He need his ass beat.
If he,
Therapy is not a belt. It's a tool for improvement. It's a
it's a
tool
it's
for
a tool
growth.
for the belt. It's a tool for the tool belt. Damn it.
Okay. Yes, for the tool kit, for the tool belt of life, for the utility belt, Batman.
Batman.
That's what it is for. It is not. Therapy is not. And I wish y'all would stop looking at it like it's a hammer. Like it's not, y'all. It is not the belt. Like, let me just whip you in the shape by
Yeah, it
talk to
doesn't.
that, talk to the lady, talk to the lady,
And
talk to
you
the
and
no,
you see
it's
how
not
long it
that,
takes.
yo.
You see how long it takes for that tool in your arsenal to even be useful
And that's
to
when you're
you.
trying.
Yeah, that's when you're really trying. You're right. That is when you're giving it your all. Like,
It
yeah,
is so hard
yeah,
to change who you have been, especially when you thought that was the right way to go about things, even when you realize it's the wrong way to go about things because you've done it for so long.
yeah,
Now you got to break code. Now you got to remind yourself not to fall back into the old code.
yeah.
All this progress you're making in therapy, you have to maintain. You know what I'm
And it's
saying?
hard. You're gonna have
And
days you
it's
slip up.
not sweet. It's not sweet, man. Like you
Yeah.
said, days you gonna just be like, man, nah. Better
I,
who?
I ain't
Better,
rocking.
better
I'm
what?
gonna, I'm gonna rock your shit.
Better what? Better who? Not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's human. That's part of the growth process, right?
Yes, it
You're
is.
gonna fight it sometimes. So that's why I really get upset when I see people throw it around on social media, when I hear people say it in person just about people they don't like. Yo, shut that fuck, man. Just please stop going to your therapist and go just be with the rest of these other people that's not making improvements on themselves. Therapized people behave in a therapized manner. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean any of us are perfect. It doesn't mean any of us have hit the level we quite want to hit just yet, but we're working. That's where it is. That is what it is about. We're doing the work.
Yeah.
And we're not doing the work. So here's where I'm gonna bite some of Raquel's stuff. Pause. That sounded crazy. But here's where I'm just go ahead and inject some of
I
her
think y'all
information.
catch it. Y'all crazy with
Um,
that shit.
when she says that the benefits of mental health is about capacity more than it's about safety, right? Because we do talk about things like safe place and healing and all those kind of things. Like mental wellness is not about not experiencing anything. Mental wellness is not about shielding you from emotions, shielding you from difficulties. It's about giving you a better capability to deal with life. That when life starts lifing the hell out of you, you're not breaking down every time. Whatever caused you a breakdown that made you crippled, that straight up crippled you, whether it was anxiety,
Yeah.
fear, depression, whatever it was, that when that comes around again, it doesn't have that same effect on you anymore.
Yeah.
That is what mental wellness is supposed to be. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be your cute little personality trait that you could connect to whatever horoscope you got. Well, I'm a Gemini, man. We unstable creatures, man.
Not me. I
It's two
feel
of
like
us,
Lisa.
man. No, that's no. Yeah, I'm bipolar just because I'm a Gemini. No, no,
That's crazy.
no. Like you can't get along with me because I'm a Cancer and you're a Leo, man. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, man. No, you're a disagreeable ass. You, sir or ma'am, are annoying,
Yeah.
regardless of what day you were
You
born.
can say whatever the fuck you want. You're a pain in the ass.
It's not the stars, it's you. The Big Dipper ain't got nothing to do with how much of a pain in the ass you are. Okay. Um, and even people who have mental illnesses, bona fide, diagnosed, certified mental illnesses, you don't get passes to do any old thing and treat people any old kind of way.
Yeah.
Okay. People don't have to walk on eggshells around you. Uh-uh. That no. They now not using it against you. Okay, cool. Not weaponizing it against you. Perfectly fine. But you don't get to weaponize it against other people. Okay? You
Yeah.
deal with anxiety. Don't mean you get to scream on me. What? Who are you talking to?
Hey, because people
You
be
know what might
wild with
really
it.
give you anxiety? Getting choked the hell out.
Uh, knock your ass the fuck out.
Okay? Okay? Waking up with some teeth missing.
Because who is you talking to?
I feel like, nah, bro, I'm not. Y'all can keep that star stuff. I didn't. No. Y'all can keep that star stuff, bro.
Myron said people
The
use it like
baby,
being a
you
vegan or buying
always
an electric car.
facts. They do. You can keep that star stuff. I'm not here to bash people who believe in astrology. What I'm saying is it's not an excuse for you being an ass. It's not. It's not. I don't care what
Yeah.
none of y'all say. Whatever day you were born does not give you the excuse to be a bad person.
Yeah.
That is what I am saying. I'm not trying to hear it at all. Your mental illness is not designated by your stars, the rising crescent date and the falling moon. No, no, no. And if you believe that, you actually really do need some help and maybe some medicine.
Yeah,
Okay, you got a lot of problems going on, and you might want to see about addressing them. However, it is necessary.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's all I'm saying is that we can acknowledge that mental wellness is important, it's paramount. We can acknowledge that certain people struggle. Like we all struggle, and certain people struggle more than others, that other people have literally biochemical issues preventing them from being able to navigate it the way that maybe people without them can.
Yeah.
But it don't mean that they can't navigate it.
Yeah.
So let's have the discussions with purpose, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's have the discussions with purpose.
Juan said people use astrology like a get out of jail free
Yes,
card.
they do, bro, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like none of that stuff is cool. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible to see people make these posts and say, "Yeah, I don't like you because I was born this day and you were born that day, and that means you can't be a good person in my space." What are we talking about? Oh, I get to be mean to you because, I have this personality trait. I'm a flake because I was born on this day, bro.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
We're sometimey people.
Yeah, nah, I ain't with it.
No, 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 fuck out my face. Um, so that's all I'm saying is that whatever your struggle is, it's whatever your mental wellness struggle is, I want to say that is valid, right? I don't believe that feelings in and of itself are valid, but mental wellness issues, I believe, are valid. However,
However,
having mental wellness issues, or having mental illnesses does not mean you no longer have the responsibility to do the best you can to navigate with them, to create a larger capacity to deal with your issues, to deal with life's bad spots,
yeah,
years, days, whatever. Okay. I know some people who had bad life from birth until,
yeah, they still thugging it out.
and they still getting it done. You know what I mean? So and it's not about being able to brag that you're the strongest and you're the toughest, you're the thoroughest. I'm just saying, like, that's life. You got to go forward.
Yeah,
You got to go forward, or eventually you're going to die out. It's just
yeah.
that simple. It's no room for you to go backwards.
Only Ford.
It's too much stuff back there.
Only
It's
Ford.
too, it's too much. Hey, why? Leave the Cash App beggars alone. Leave the Cash App beggars alone. Why? Leave Beg the Stallion and them alone, bro.
That's one thing I've never done.
Leave Beg the Stallion and them alone, man.
They're like, oh, my birthday. Send me some money.
They get into the bag however they get into it, man. It's begging, don't get me wrong, but let them people beg in peace, bro. Um,
Funny.
chill, my birthday coming up.
Well,
Hey,
shit.
beg if you
Might as
going
well
to
do
beg,
it
bro.
then. Shit. Somebody
Beg
want
if
to
you
send me
going to beg, bro.
some money.
I'm beg if you going to beg, bro. I'm gonna make fun of you, but who am I? If you getting the money, it don't matter what I say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If people sending them cash apps, my opinion on it don't matter.
Oh, shit.
As it said, at the end of the day, the day go in.
The end
You
of
know what
the
I mean?
day,
Shout out
the
to
day
Glow.
go in. Yep. That's what Glow
Uh,
said.
and as the day going, and so is this episode. I hope everybody. I hate it too, Juan, but again, that's just our opinions. That's another conversation for another day.
Listen.
Thank you for joining the chat, though, bro. Um, we listen. Put pressure on Mish to come back next week so we could do
I'm
game
gonna
night
be
again for
on
her birthday. Oh, that's
vacation.
right. That's right. You're on vacation next week, so I'm gonna have to. So we gonna have to do it when you get back then.
Sure.
Okay, y'all heard her.
Unless y'all want to do it before I leave, but who wants to do that on
Y'all
a
heard her.
Monday?
Game night when Mish come back. So I'm gonna have another guest for next week. But when Mish come back, we doing game night again.
Okay,
Although
I'm
this
down.
time all the trivia gonna be about Mish. Everything gonna be Mish related.
Okay,
Yeah,
I gotta start thinking.
yeah. I'm gonna help you come up with some. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I got cursed out because I swear to God got cool the bag on purpose. Wow, relax, bro.
That's funny.
Oh man, but yeah. So we already locked Misha in for game night in 2 weeks. Um, we got a sports episode coming up for y'all towards the end of
Mhm.
the month, just to
Mhm.
preview that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we can get everybody back from that episode and one more. I won't say
Oh
no
yeah.
names just yet, but some things in the works for y'all to look forward to.
Cause somebody
Um,
wanna address me.
you know what I'm saying? So we got that going on. Um, if you're bored and you feel like flashing back and you like video games or basketball, check into YouTube with my little retroactive look at the NBA Live 19. Was it really that bad? Like, did we really hate on it, or was it really, not that bad?
Mhm.
Um, so I'll be doing a couple of those. I already have one up, so y'all can check that out. It's up on Life Be Life and already. Um, and thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your support. If Mish decides to put her Cash App up, go ahead and flood her or her Venmo or whatever, go ahead and flood
Listen,
her.
if
If you
I
have
end
not wished
it,
her a happy birthday yet, please make sure at some point this week to do so. Show my homie love.
listen.
Um, Nothing but love. If you catch Tommy Banks on, if you catch Miss Tommy on, show her some love too, because that's her birthday twin.
I'm not begging,
You know
but
what I
if y'all
mean?
want to give me some money for my trip so I can drink, let me know.
There you go. There you
I'll
go.
pay it.
There you go.
I'm
You know what I mean?
I'm a top shelf drinker, so I
Let what they say at church, let your heart lead you, okay? Let your heart lead you. Or I should be like Marvin, close the doors.
close
Close
the
the
doors.
doors.
Close the doors.
We opened the doors so you gotta wrap this episode up.
We do. We're there for almost 2 hours tonight. But this was a great talk. Mental health and mental wellness and awareness will always be near and dear to both of our hearts.
Mental health
Um,
matters.
it does. I
Self-care is not
mean,
selfish.
yes, yes.
Remember that.
So, like Megan said, bad bitches have bad days too, and that goes for men too. Because some of y'all be
Yeah.
acting like bad bitches, but that's okay. Uh, I had to go there. I had to be funny. I had to make it funny.
Oh man.
But no, we all have bad days, and it's okay to
Facts.
acknowledge those bad days. It's okay to tell people, we need help. We need to talk to somebody about said bad days. When I just told you, I called an emergency appointment on Monday, and I thought I was gonna make it till June, but that's life, and life be lifing.
Hey man, lifers, don't feel bad about reaching out if you want to reach out, chat with either one of us, both
Please
of us,
do,
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
please do.
We there for that. You know what I'm saying? Life be lifing on IG, life be lifing on Facebook. I think it's life.be.lifing pod on TikTok.
Oh
All
God,
those.
we're still trying to
You know
figure
what I'm
TikTok
saying?
out, y'all.
Stephanie's still trying to figure out TikTok. I'm slow with it. But but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Reach out to us by any means and where you can send us a personal message or lifebelifing at gmail.com if y'all want to email us. All right.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to skip all the social media and just send something to email, you want to send your life be life moment of the week, by all means, send it. We'll keep you confidential and we'll share those with the group. And I'm having some issues with Facebook creating the Lifeline group, but I'm gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done so we
We
could
we
all have that
definitely
community
gonna get it.
um for each other. All right. We appreciate y'all on behalf of A.C.E, our brother, that's who he always be, on behalf of Denver's mom, aka the sponsor of both the Two Kings 215 and Life Be Life and podcast. Uh the owner of Simply in the Shade Catering and co-owner of Second Line Express, Keish with D Cakes, and on behalf of our dazzling, hilarious, introspective, witty wise, electric eclectic co-host, Mimi the Goddess, aka Big Niche.
You know
You
what's
know what I'm
funny?
saying?
Little tidbit. Guess what my sister named my whole like human billboard plan?
Big Meech, right?
Becoming Big
BMF.
Niche. Becoming Big
I
Niche.
like it. I like it.
I said, Dominica. She was like, I thought it was fitting.
I
I
think
was
so
like, is
too.
that? She was like, cause that's like a persona for you. Like people see you like in a different way. She was
Mm-hmm.
like, but this is you like leveling up, becoming a bigger person. And I was
I
like,
like that.
okay, you're cute, but
That's bars. That's
okay.
bars.
So
Shout out
yeah,
to Vamika.
yeah, we gotta have her on. We have to definitely. That's the segue for this. And you know what? Can I ask everybody that was on tonight? Y'all drop from 1 to 10 how you're doing with your mental health and wellness, and I'm gonna be checking in with some of y'all.
There we go. There we go. And I'm gonna make a post for whoever didn't see it to
Yes.
make sure that everybody
So
gets in on that. All right. Like I
yes,
said, we
please
want the best
do.
for y'all. That's
We
not no
do.
fake shit. We
We
want the
want
best
y'all
for y'all.
around for life, so y'all can
Yeah,
be life
man.
with us.
There you go. All right. So yeah, listen. Make Vamika happen. Make Vamika happen.
Say less.
Make Big Sis happen.
She already is on my back about it. So she actually taking me to the podcast summit with her in August because
Yeah.
she's really trying to see me do this because she sees how it's helped me mentally and
Not to mention you've
emotionally.
been good at
So
it from the jump.
yeah,
Yeah, I
she was
mean,
like, you be talking. So she was
you be
like,
talking.
so yeah, I shout out to my sister for elevating my dreams and making me, become big niche.
There you go. That's what it is. It's about growth.
Yeah.
That's what we here to do. Push the culture forward, and that means individually and collectively.
All right,
Um,
Kimmy, I see you
we got a
with
fourth one,
4.
Kim.
I'm
Okay,
gonna tap in
okay.
with you.
So
Make
yeah,
sure you
yeah. Listen,
send me her page, Nari, so I can check in with her.
say less, say less.
Yeah,
And I'll post her other contacts so that y'all could, reach out to me because
for
she really
sure.
don't be on Facebook like that. So
Neither
I'll,
do
I'll
I.
post.
If you
No, I'm
want,
talking
you
about you.
want.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
saying you don't really be
I'll
on
be on
Facebook
my
like that.
I don't.
So,
But I'm
I'll
cool
make
with
sure to
people
post
having my
contact
number.
information
Yeah, I'm
so
cool with
that
her
y'all
having
can
my
reach
number
out to me
created.
and you know what I mean, link up and like I said, let's grow together. Let's go together, let's grow together. You know what I mean?
For
You want
sure.
to go fast, go by yourself. You want to go far, go together.
Amen.
And as I always say, be smart, be respectful, be patient. That includes with yourself. Be safe and stay dangerous. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know people make that impossible, y'all, but don't worry about them. Just make sure every single day to take the time out to be kind to yourselves. Okay? To yourselves. I'm going to say it again. Be kind to yourself. All right? Because you cannot pour out of an empty cup.
At all.
All right. We don't want no burnout for none of y'all. We want the best for y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all next week while Big Mish is on vacation.
I'm gonna
And
miss
then Big Mish,
y'all.
yeah, always drop love for her in the chat, even when she ain't here. And then when she comes back, game night for to celebrate the birthday of the goddess. You
I'll tell
heard?
you what. I'm gonna see if we not doing that. I might try to pop in, but I don't know. My
Yeah,
bestie is
you're
excited
always
about
welcome.
this trip, so I'm trying to give her my undivided attention because her husband is sending us on vacation. So I'm like,
Listen, enjoy the trip, man. Enjoy the trip. Again, part of our elevation is knowing when to relax. You heard me?
yep.
I can hold the fort down while you going. We gonna be all right.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm
We
on
gonna
it.
be all right.
All
All right,
right.
y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next one. We love y'all. Stay safe.
Night.